My name is Rachel. Welcome to my channel. Today I am going to try out a little idea that I've been having the last few days, which I'm going to blend crochet and cross stitch. So I like cross stitch. This is a project that I did a while ago. Give you a nice close up of it. And I've always liked cross stitch, but I find that it can be a little tedious, which is kind of the point, but I don't always want to do something tedious. And because I have been really enjoying crochet lately, I thought I would try to blend the two of them. So particularly, my plan is to use this Lily's Sugar and Cream cotton yarn. This color is called ecru, and I'm going to make a canvas to do big cross stitch on. By the way, if this is the first video of mine you're watching, I've only been crocheting, for like 2 months. But I'm kind of determined to be better at it, not using a million patterns, because I think using a pattern sort of stunts the artistic feeling of it for me a little bit. I like using a pattern, but I think I like it too much, and then I get really focused on using a pattern. I sort of touched on this in my first video, but like if I mess up a pattern, I'm too focused on that I messed it up. But if I just make, then I'm like, but I did it, in that exact voice.
All right, so let's get into the actual process of how I decided to do this. Because I wasn't following a pattern, I decided I would make a few different rows of options that I could use to cross stitch into. So the one I'm doing at the top with this pink yarn, I did double double, skip one, double double to make that sort of mesh pattern. The one underneath it is just double skip one, and then the very bottom is just single crochets. I didn't want to do single crochets originally. I just felt like that didn't seem exciting enough, but ultimately it was actually what worked the best because I don't have a ton of extra scrap yarn, so I don't have anything in super bulky, so I felt like this pink yarn was just too loose in the holes that the canvas was. So there is the dark purple stitching, and then from there I decided to make the actual canvas. This is a fun, flirty little time lapse. I was watching Criminal Minds while I did this. Yeah, and then here it is. So this turned out really, really nice, actually. I almost didn't want to do anything else to it because I felt like it was so perfect and so square. And I love things that are perfect. But you know me, I had to keep going. So I decided that in the spirit of the orange cross stitch I showed you at the beginning, I wanted to continue with fruit. But because it's spring, I wanted to do strawberries. So I am not actually following a cross stitch pattern here. I'm just sort of freehanding it. I don't know if I would recommend doing that if you are deciding to do this. I think it'd be better to start with a pattern in mind. But ultimately, it turned out pretty cute. So this is sort of the beginning part, and here's the back. The back is never cute when it's cross stitch. But yeah, here's my progress, and here I am again.
I think it would be really cool to use a very small gauge of yarn for the base canvas and then use a much thicker yarn for the embroidery part, the cross stitch part. I think that could be really interesting. Because I think I'm doing two of the same kind of gauge of yarn, and it is super cute. I like it a lot, but I do feel like it would be really interesting to have difference in the gauge. What I do like about mine so far is the texture difference between the acrylic and the cotton. But if you wanted to do this and have it be like a washcloth or something, and you just wanted a design on it, I would use cotton for both of them. I think this would be really great for teaching children cross stitch, but you could like have your kids make their own like washcloth and decorate it, and I think that's super cute. Okay, let me weave this into the unknown. I am not a Disney adult. Does anybody else lick their fingers to get the yarn to be tighter at the end so you can thread it through the eye of the needle? Is that just a disgusting habit of mine? Every project I make is filled with love and spit. Stand. Yes. So she's wearing a pad. Okay. Be nice. I feel like I always need to say that. The internet is a harsh and cruel place. Hey. So this, for now, is my final product. I think it turned out pretty cute. I definitely think there's a lot to be said for picking a pattern, like a cross stitch pattern specifically, before you dive into this, because I didn't. I just sort of freehanded this, and my freehand cross stitch is never as good as when I either draw out a pattern or find one online beforehand. So that's my biggest qualm, but overall this worked really, really great. I think it's super cute. I definitely think that this would be really cute for like dish cloths or washcloths as just a little way to embellish them. If you aren't into cross stitch, you could totally just embroider with the like also cotton yarn and get a very similar effect. But yeah, the only thing is the back of it is not nearly as beautiful as the front. But when is it? You know? That is my cross stitching on crochet. See ya!